Let's get the tough question out of the way first. The fans' question. What can they expect this year? It's been a long dry spell.
Well, it has been, and I think I think towards the end of last year we started to show some progress, and that's exciting from a coaching standpoint. And you always wonder what's going to happen over the summer, and when you get to work with them again in the fall. And I thought that they took their summer workouts very seriously, and that's encouraging for us to know that we're kind of we had a group of young ladies that kind of rededicated themselves to the game over the summer, and we were able to hit the ground running when they came in the fall, and that allows us to get a lot more stuff in. We're light years ahead of where we were last year on this date, so that's exciting from a coaching standpoint. The expectations are that we're going to try like crazy to win every game, and I don't know what's going to happen until we tip the first one off.
Coach, what was the biggest jump you felt like they made just in the fall and summer workouts up till now? Was there something that really stuck out as, we're going to be majorly better in this area or that area?
Well, I think we're going to shoot the ball better. I think, we always said from the time I got here that we were going to shoot the ball, and sometimes we were just shooting a quantity of shots rather than shooting a good quality of shots. And I think since the summer and early in the fall workouts, I think we're shooting the ball better. And I think we'll take that a little bit more seriously. And I think after playing in the system for a year, they understand how important it is that we shoot the ball well. And I think that they've all, across the board, have done a good job of becoming better shooters over the summer.
You did make progress with them last year. How nice is it to come in your second year and know that you're going to continue to do that, especially with a good core of girls?
I mean, it's nice. I'm glad you know that we're going to continue to make progress. I hope that is true. But there's no real guarantees. I mean, like I said last year, every season is a new season. Last year we finished up strong, and that was nice, and we have a new set of obstacles this year. I think our returning kids have done a fantastic job of picking up where we left off and helping with the new kids in the screening and our defensive strategies. So that's exciting. And it has been, from a coaching standpoint, it's been easier to just reteach some things and then teach new kids everything rather than have to teach everybody everything.
Other than shooting the ball better, what is this team more athletically or physically capable of than your first team?
Well, this team is tougher mentally already than last year's team, and that's something that we really tried to get better at. I think this team has higher expectations than last year's team. We're already just the tone of the question so far. Last year at this point, we already asked when you thought we were going to win our first game 5 times. So the tone's been changed. There's a new level of expectations, and that I think is probably the most exciting thing for us.
Coach, in your second year, do things get easier from a standpoint of what you being comfortable in the system, what the girls can expect, and what you expect to get out of them? Does it get easier?
I don't know that it gets easier. To me, it's more exciting because we can get further along. Last year's offense was very, very vanilla. I mean, we got in the basics, we got enough to compete. Defensively, we got in enough to compete, and we didn't really get to what you might call, I guess what I'd like to call sophisticated. It may not be as sophisticated as I like, but I like to make it sound like I'm really coaching them up, so I use words like that. This year I think maybe we could get a little bit more sophisticated and throw in a few more wrinkles and get a little bit further with our ball screen stuff, which you didn't see a lot of last year, changing some defenses and things of that sort.
And certainly, being able to do those extra things that you probably wanted to do but knew you couldn't throw at them is hopefully going to translate to better play out there and give yourself a better shot.
Yeah, you hope it makes us a better team. And hopefully you make us, we go through those dry spells offensively last year. You hope by having a few more wrinkles in, you've got different ways to get out of them, and you not have to be stuck with one way and hope that plan works. And then I think also defensively, hopefully you're able to put in a couple more things that, when you're having trouble stopping, early in the season we couldn't guard the low post at all, but we really didn't have another option to go to. I think this year we've got different defensive strategies that we'll have in by then, and I think we'll be more effective guarding and just have more options to go to in those situations.
Do you think confidence is the biggest thing that you guys gained in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think confidence is important. I think maybe their confidence in each other, and I think they trust each other a little bit more, that they're working and doing things the right way. And I think knowing what the right way is. Last year they had a new coach that they didn't know anything about. They weren't real sure what they were getting themselves into. Now they've got a better idea of what we're doing and how we're doing it and what's expected out of everybody.
Coach, talk about the roster a little bit, and maybe some new faces you've got there that have really impressed you so far.
Well, we've had, we have 2 freshmen that are currently playing for us, Kelsey Fickeisen and Melanie Foreman. Then we have a junior college transfer, Devin Mack. Ken. I'm sorry, Devin. But she's done a fine job. They're learning their way through the process, and they're obviously not picking things up as quickly as our returners are, but that's not to be expected. They're dealing with some frustration right now, and that's good for them. And I think our returning players are doing a good job of helping them along and doing some coaching off the floor. When practice ends, being able to talk to them about things that we're doing and why we're doing them and have a better understanding of why we're doing them. Where last year everybody was kind of trying to figure it out for themselves. So I think our returners have done a nice job of helping along our new kids.
From a personnel standpoint, Coach, do you have something now with those new people that maybe you didn't have last year that you kind of needed to have in order to compete? Now you've got it, and so you can make some more make some move here.
Yeah, they all shoot the ball well, and that's obviously something. We shot the ball a lot last year. We didn't necessarily shoot it well. That's something that we need. We shot the most 3-pointers in the conference. Unfortunately, we didn't make the most. I think that's a goal for us, is that we put some better shooters on the floor. We've got kids that have been in the system for a year that have gotten to be better shooters, and then hopefully that will be leading the conference in both categories. That's probably the most immediate and obvious addition that you would see. I think probably a more subtle addition is just the level of competition that's gone up in every spot for playing time.
Since they're here, talk a little bit about Tiara and Brandy returning for you.
Well, since they're here, they're 2 players that I think will really benefit from added depth, because they don't have to play 80 minutes between the 2 of them. What we did last year with them was unfair to their ability. They got to take plays off, and one of the things that they both hate is when I don't yell at them for not playing hard and I let them get away with stuff. And last year at times that happened because we didn't have a lot of real good alternatives. And there were times where Brandy and T would rebound the ball very well for us, and then there were times where they didn't even go in and rebound because they knew they had to play another 38 minutes before I was going to let them come out. I think the added depth will allow them to be a lot more effective, and already in practice they've been a lot more effective in just a shorter time of competition and a little bit of rest in between things, rather than having to pace themselves to play the full 40 minutes. So, I'm really excited about the year that they both might have, and I'm real happy with them so far. That may change next week, but so far.
Does opening up with a tough opponent like West Virginia kind of give a great wake-up call to start the season?
Yeah. It's exciting. It's a team that's coming off a deep tournament run. It's a team that's going to be more athletic than us, and you try to put together a preseason schedule that's going to get you ready to play in the conference, and I think they do in a way that we got to be able to handle the basketball without turning it over and get shots. If we don't do that, it'll be a very long, miserable trip. But if we can do that, then at least we can compete with them, and if we can do that against them, I feel like that would be a big boost of confidence for what we should be able to do during the season as far as taking care of the basketball and being able to execute offensively.